Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're bringing you a super fun and intense breakdown of the ultimate baseball mindset. You know, when we watch a game, it is just so easy to get totally caught up in the physical highlights, right? The massive home runs, the crazy diving catches, those fastballs touching 100 miles per hour. But what actually separates the good from the truly elite? Well, it's what happens between the ears. Elite baseball performance is just as much about mental preparation as it is about physical skill. Today, we're diving into a coach's detailed playbook that proves building a relentless, intentional mindset is the true secret to mastering the game.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our playbook for today. Number 1, train the brain first. Number 2, controlling the chaos on the mound. Number 3, the aggressive plate approach. Number 4, defending with purpose. And finally, number 5, conditioning and arm care.
Section 1, train the brain first. Because honestly, mental prep is the foundational concept that dictates absolutely everything else.
There's this incredible quote from our source notes that just hits the nail on the head. Train the brain before the body has to endure on the field. Baseball gets incredibly hard if you don't prep both physically and mentally. In fact, these notes point out a pretty sobering reality. The mental part of the game is the main reason why most people actually quit the sport by age 13. Seriously. When the physical difficulty ramps up, if the brain isn't conditioned to handle failure and repetition, a player is just going to walk away.
So what does mental preparation actually look like in practice? Well, it builds into this athlete-first model. You need a solid schedule built into every single day. Just check out Coach AJ's actual morning routine. Get this, he wakes up at 3:50 a.m. every day. He starts with Bible study, goes for a morning walk, eats breakfast, and then knocks out sit-ups and push-ups. This isn't just about fitness, guys. It's about establishing unshakable discipline before the sun even comes up.
Now this brings us to a crucial point. Everything you do has to be done for a purpose. Having a clear purpose creates intentional focus. I absolutely love this quirky little directive from the notes. It says, you should brush your teeth with the exact same purpose used to strike out a batter. Brushing with purpose. It sounds kind of funny, but honestly, it's a brilliant way to train the brain that there are simply no off moments. Even at home, you can literally tape a box on the wall for a strike zone and work on your mechanics constantly. It's a 24/7 mindset.
All right, now that the mind is tuned up, let's take that focus right onto the diamond. Section 2, controlling the chaos. This is all about mastering the mound.
Picture this. You're on the mound. The bases are absolutely loaded. The crowd is screaming, and the opposing dugout is just chirping at you nonstop. So what do you do when chaos is literally all around you? It's a make-or-break moment where physical talent takes a back seat to pure mental composure.
Well, the motto on the mound is simple, calming, and incredibly empowering. Don't panic. You are in control because you have the ball. Think about it. Nothing in the game of baseball happens until the pitcher decides to throw that baseball. The pitcher dictates the pace, the tempo, the whole shebang. Remembering that fact is exactly how you instantly neutralize all that chaos around you.
But of course, with runners on base, we've got rules. Once you're set with your hands, you cannot move other than to throw to home in your normal delivery. Anything outside of that normal delivery is a balk, which just hands the runners a free base. But here is the mental trick. The notes call it the panic button. If you ever feel overwhelmed, your panic button is to simply disengage from the rubber by stepping backward. The second you step backward, you're no longer a pitcher, you're just a fielder. And all that pressure, it completely resets.
And this brilliantly illustrates how pitching is truly a mental game of chess against base runners. Pitchers categorize their pickoff moves to first base as A, B, and C, kind of like test scores. A C move is a slow setup just to make a good throw and keep the runner honest. The A and B moves, those are your real aggressive pickoffs. You also really have to know the geometry of the mound. Take the lefty 45-degree rule, for example, where your right foot's position relative to the rubber dictates if you've committed a balk or a legal move. Meanwhile, over at second base, you have the freedom to fake a move, and you don't even have to throw. It's all about staying balanced, totally in control, and just outsmarting the opponent.
Okay, let's flip the script. Section 3, the aggressive plate approach. It's time to build that offensive mindset.
Because hitting, it is entirely situational. A massive part of the mental game is adapting your approach based on the count. When you have 0 strikes, your approach has got to be aggressive. Don't just sit there and watch the first strike. Pitchers want to get ahead in the count, so that first pitch is often the best meat pitch you're going to see, like a fastball right over the center of the plate. You've got to attack it. But when you get down to a 2-strike count, the whole mentality shifts dramatically. You aren't just hitting anymore, you are fighting for your team.
You have to expand your strike zone by about 2 baseballs on and off the plate, and from your chest all the way down to your shins. You literally cannot give the umpire a reason to ring you up on a called third strike.
So why do you need to completely change your stance with 2 strikes? Well, it comes down to this number, 73. Statistically, 73% of strikes are thrown on the outer 1/3 of the plate. To combat this mathematically, the playbook dictates that with 2 strikes, a batter must widen their stance, get their front foot down early, choke up on the bat, and physically get closer to the plate to protect that outer edge. The notes even mention that Coach AJ's leadoff approach for the 17U team often takes 10+ pitches. He mentally grinds down the pitcher, forcing them to work for every single out. Now that is a disciplined winning mindset.
Let's transition back to the other side of the ball. Section 4, defending with purpose. Defense isn't just about catching and throwing. It's about how you protect your team's energy. 7 minutes. That's the magic target. The defensive philosophy here is that you have exactly 7 minutes to try and get off that field. You have to play clean, and pitchers must attack batters to make them earn it. Why the big rush? Because the longer you are out on defense, your own offense deflates 10% of their energy at a pop. Every time you lose 5 seconds on a play by holding the ball too long, flaring a bad attitude, missing a ball, or failing to communicate, you are literally draining your own team. Defense has to run smooth, constant, and effortlessly.
Now, what's really interesting here is how it illustrates the physical commitment required to save that time. The notes are brutal but honest. When you don't physically block a baseball, you are wasting time on your team. Every pass ball extends the inning, adds stress to the pitcher, and keeps your offense sitting in the dugout getting cold.
For catchers, being intentional is completely non-negotiable. If a catcher is lazy and just lobs the ball back to the pitcher, runners are going to run. The mechanics demand focus. Catch first, block second. Utilize the knee-down method for hip mobility. Keep your back posture up, chest up, shoulders back, definitely not rounded. And when you're receiving the pitch, make sure you hit the pocket of the glove. Your pitcher wants to hear that loud popping sound. Trust me, that sound builds massive confidence and momentum for the entire defense.
All right, to maintain this incredible mental and defensive intensity, the body has to be prepared. Let's move into our final phase, Section 5, conditioning and arm care. Time to prepare the body.
As kids grow and the field dimensions expand, like say moving from a 50-70 field to a 55-80 field, conditioning becomes absolutely crucial. But intentional practice isn't just about lifting weights, it's environmental. Check out this rule for creating good energy. For 1 hour prior to and after a game or practice, there is absolutely no stimulation other than the game. That means no screen time, no snacking, and, I love this one, no wearing Crocs. You have to arrive focused and ready. If you get really good at simply talking baseball with your family before and after the game, instead of just staring at a phone, your focus absolutely skyrockets. And when it comes to the physical side, structure is everything. This right here is an actual 13U no-throw day regimen, pulled straight from the whiteboard notes. Instead of throwing and straining the arm on an off day, players do specific work to recover. Plyo ball exercises like windmills and reverse pulls, they mix in band work for the shoulders and triceps, and finish off with a heavy bodyweight circuit, jumping jacks, squats, lunges, and a brutal 2-minute plank. As the notes say, when you're on a structured conditioning regimen, you won't mess up much, your arm will feel way better, and injuries are prevented simply because you aren't trying to muscle through fatigue.
And that brings us to the end of our playbook. We've seen how elite performance literally starts at 3:50 in the morning, how it turns brushing your teeth into a mental rep, and how expanding a strike zone or blocking a single pitch can alter the entire momentum of a game. It is a relentless, totally intentional mindset. So, I leave you with this. How are you going to apply this level of intentional focus to your next practice, your next project, or even just your daily routine? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.